The best looking man, the best dressed man, long limousines, jet airplanes, custom made clothes, and any woman in the world I want.
Only you can control your narrative.
Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to react to a podcast where Jordan Peterson was on, and the topic is going to be about dressing in suits or bettering your style. So let's get this video rolling and stay tuned for the very end of the video where Jordan Peterson gives some helpful tips on why we should always put our best foot forward. And let's get started.
I've done 7 tour lectures so far, and with an average audience size of about 2,500, and they're going great. They're unbelievably positive. Almost everybody dresses up, which I think is really cool.
Really?
Yeah, well, when I went out on tour in 2018, before I went out, I thought I wanted to do this like 100% right, or at least as close to that as I could manage. So I went out and bought some expensive suits, and I spent way more money on, this is one of them actually.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you. Way more money than I ever thought I'd spend on clothes, and I really felt quite bad about it. You know, I thought maybe it was an extravagance, but I thought, no way, man, I'm going to see if I can nail this dead on, and I'm going to be speaking to, 100,000 people. I'm going to look as sharp as I possibly can. And one of the consequences of that has been that young men in particular come to the lecture tour dressed up in suits, 3-piece suits. Or the couples come and they're dressed up like they're coming to a wedding, so that's really something. And
why do you think that is? Is it because you set that
they're
standard?
sick of acting like kids.
Okay.
Our whole culture pushes the idea that teenage life, or even childhood for that matter, but teenage life is some sort of pinnacle, and then everybody dresses down so they look, especially men, they look like overgrown 10-year-olds, and there's something extremely demeaning about that. And so to provide people with the opportunity to dress up in a class.
In this, I think Jordan Peterson makes some good points. That's why I started wearing suits in church, but I started out with only one suit, but then I started getting more suits in my collection. But I was tired of just being considered just an average guy, but I want to be my best. I always had the tagline of to be the best guy here, the best guy there, the best guy anywhere. And that's what I want to be, especially when I go to church or when I go to weddings, I want to be dressed up. So I think guys should at least have at least one suit in their closet so they can be prepared for any occasion that comes up. Mainly maybe a black suit or charcoal black suit. That would be best, or even a blue suit. But we should always be our best. Even in our style, we should try to dress up, maybe wear a collared shirt. And that's what he's talking about here. Not just dressing like a boy with graphic t-shirts, but we should always try to step up our game, no matter what age you are. So if you're just dressing up like a child, maybe an oversized t-shirt, then maybe you should try to work on your style. This is not a style channel, but we should always be our best. And that's one of the things about personal development, is being our best at whatever we're doing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It's not the usual alpha male content, but it's different because it's personal development. So let me know if you like this video in the comments. And now let's get this video back on track.
Dress up in a classic manner and to look like adults, to present themselves in that manner. There's something very attractive about that, because we haven't done that in our culture. That's been, I would say, downplayed in importance or for certainly since the 1960s.
Who's to blame for that? Because you recall, anytime you would fly in an airplane, if you see old school pictures, people were dressed in 3-piece suits to go on an airplane. This is in the 60s, I assume. And then now you see someone like Mark Zuckerberg wear a t-shirt to give a speech in front of a TED Talk or something like that. So
well,
who's to blame for this dress
some
down?
of it's just fashion. Fashion moves around, and then And it usually drifts from the top down. And so when formality becomes the norm, but that drifts down, say, to the working class, then the upper class thinks, well, we can't do that because that would, associate us with the unfashionable people. And then they dress down. And so then that drifts down the hierarchy. And so there's some of it's just fashion, but a lot of it too is this idea that this sort of reflexive, rebellious attitude that anything that violates traditional norms or even anything that's associated with patriarchal oppression and adulthood is to be eliminated in favor of what's hypothetically a more free individuality, but it's not because everybody looks the same. I was in Washington 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer than that. It's probably longer than that when I first went in the summer. And one of the things that really...
I like how this guy talks about how Mark Zuckerberg just wears t-shirts or whoever he named, but and people just tend to follow like the rich people. But I think we should always dress our best no matter what the world is doing. We should always wear maybe the nicest clothes we have. Not just a suit and tie, maybe a collared shirt. Just dress up and have everyone else step up their game. But no matter what the rich people are doing, the wealthy people are doing, they're going to do whatever they want. But we should be our best if we're the working class and still be our best so people can see us and respect us. Sometimes it's the clothes that we wear. I mean, it makes us feel good also, but it's also to get a little respect here and there, whether you're going to a Bible study, whether you're going to church, whether you're going to a wedding, or whether you're just out on a date. Always dress your best and do it to impress yourself, not always to do it for other people. So everyone, just keep on improving yourself, even in your style.
And one of the things that really struck me, all these people wandering around these great monuments, is all the men looked like overgrown 10-year-olds. They looked exactly like their kids, except they were bigger. They looked like they'd been inflated with a bicycle pump. And I thought, this is weird that adults are dressing like children and not good. And so some of it's fashion, but some of it's also that.
Is it exclusive in America? How about in Canada? What have you seen all over the world with this?
No, I don't think it's exclusive to America. I think it was more noticeable to me in Washington. And I think that's when it really hit me, because Washington is, in some sense, a place of pilgrimage. And people from every class go there, and that's a good thing, and they should, from every economic class. And so it was like it was a real cross-section of the total population, and that was one of the things that struck me quite bluntly. And so, anyways, it's very nice to see all these people dressed up. And
when you hear the argument being made, it's the following argument. The argument is, look, you only have so much energy to make so many decisions throughout your day. Do you want to be in front of the closet in the morning, picking and choosing what suit I'm going to wear to tie with what shirt and what tie? You know what? I'd much rather not consume my energy thinking about what outfit to put together. It's a lot easier to just have a white shirt, jeans, regular tennis shoes, and go to work, and let me make the bigger decisions while I'm running the company. I've never felt bad not wearing a suit. Every time I've had a suit on, I felt better than just walking on with a t-shirt on, even though the t-shirt is a lot.
Jordan Peterson makes some great points in this video, especially when he says that people look like overgrown kids in their clothes, especially when you get over 30 years old or 40 years old and you're not dressing like an adult, where people are wearing oversized like shorts or just like graphic tees. You see people with funny graphics on it, like they have sayings on it. I'll cut those into I'll cut the arms off of those sleeves and just use them as workouts. Like there's one I have, it says the man, the myth, the legend. Someone bought that for me and I never wore it because I don't like graphic t-shirts, but I'll just cut them into like workout shirts so I can just work out at home in my home gym. But I think that's better. Then he says that you feel better, which is a lot true, because you know that you're stepping up the game, and sometimes you help others step up their game because they look at you and they may make fun of you or mock you, but you know the game is being stepped up because they're mocking you and they're kind of jealous. But you feel better about yourself when you see yourself in the mirror. where you're all stylish. And that's why I want to use the Ric Flair video that I used at the beginning, because Ric Flair was the pro wrestler that always stepped up his game, wore expensive suits, lived the gimmick that he had, the character that he portrayed, and he still does today. So always step up your game, no matter how old or how young you are. But just watch a couple fashion videos on YouTube, and then maybe you can start improving your style. There's always some. So what we can learn from this is always dress your best. Whether you're male or female, always be at your best. Wherever you are going, if you're going to a meeting, then wear a suit. But if you're just going to be out casually, maybe you can just wear a nice collared shirt, long sleeves, or long sleeve polos. But just be your best. Like when you're leaving your house, you could dress comfortable at your home, but at least when you're going out, then just dress up a little and it'll help you feel better. I mean, if you're not feeling good about yourself, you don't have a good personality, maybe try stepping up your game in the fashion department. Don't like to put it that way, but maybe you can. But it's about being your best and always doing your best here on this channel, and personally becoming the best version of yourself. And whether it's your clothes, whether it's your personality, whether it's you as as a Christian, if you're a Christian, or whatever religion you are, always be your best. Step up your game, because only you can control your narrative. And let me know what you think of this Jordan Peterson video. Are you going to step up your game, or are you already working on stepping up your game? And it's funny how Jordan Peterson talks about cleaning out his closet. I recently done that so I can make more room for my suits so they're not so cluttered. That's one thing we can do also, is clean out our house and improve our house, our office in our house, or our weight room in our house, our kitchen, wherever it is you need to improve at. Always keep on cleaning and improving yourself. I don't like doing it, but it's just something I have to do because it helps me feel better about myself and about myself spiritually. So everybody keep on improving, and everyone stay awesome, and see you in the next video. Hope you like this personal development video.
Every time I've had a suit on, I felt better than just walking on with a t-shirt on, even though the t-shirt is a lot easier to do. You know, it's a lot easier, even when you were in the military. It felt good having your greens on, you know, having your BDU on. There was something very attractive about having a suit on. Not for the audience, just even for yourself. Mm-hmm. You felt good having a uniform on. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I talked to my father about this years ago, because he always wore a suit when he was a teacher. He's still alive. He's a teacher, and he always wore a suit. And I asked him why one day, and he said because it was his way of showing respect for the students. And I mean, I'm not saying that everyone who doesn't dress in a suit is being disrespectful, but there's something about outfitting yourself for the task at hand. And there's also something about attempting to put some effort into putting your best foot forward. And I don't really buy the it takes more time in the morning argument. It takes a bit more time, but once you, before I went on this tour, I went through all my clothing and I tossed out everything that didn't fit, and which included a number of suits that were old, and I had to organize them, and that took about a day to get my closet in order. But then from then on, it's actually a pleasure in some sense.
Do you do it yourself?
Do I do?
Meaning, like, you go through your closet, you do it yourself. Like, Pat has a very unique way of, like, you don't pack anymore, Pat, do you? Like, you have someone kind of help you out with that.
Packing is not my strength in my life. I have a lot. That's one of my weaknesses.
No, I still did that for the tour because I had to figure out what I was going to wear. But I've had people help me make clothing decisions, let's say. Now, it's often people who would like to make suits for me. So I have that as an advantage. But I did that pretty much on my own.